I've kind of titled this top, in my mind, top VP of operations in a very successful firm tells all. She spills the beans. And so here's what we've got. So for those of you joining us, having a partner, somebody who can run the other side of the business is crucial. And finding that partner is one thing. That's a science all in of itself. And we were talking about this before. How lucky Todd is that he found you and you guys match. But you two, in the practice, you two yin and yang so perfectly. But I was curious to have a conversation and pick your brain a little bit about your side of the fence, your side of practice management, and what that looks like in guidance and some things, lessons that you've learned through the years that we can help pass on to those that are somebody that's maybe starting in this world, going your route. So first off, let's set the table.
Okay.
So Michelle Earp, great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
You crushed it on the last podcast episode that we recorded. Fantastic. Please, if you're listening, go and check it out. We talk through how you and Todd, the advisor, how your seminar process, really from A to Z, and it was great. In fact, maybe one of my favorite podcasts that I've ever got to be part of. I loved it that much, and I'm not blowing smoke here. So what I want to talk about, so we talked about that, but let's talk about your role in the practice, and I've got a couple of questions for you. But first off, the practice itself.
Okay.
Let me set the table, you correct me. So we're in northern Indiana.
Northwest Indiana.
Northwest Indiana.
Yep, just we're considered technically a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
We're about, I think, 35 miles from Chicago.
Okay, so you're in College Town.
College Town.
And so maybe one of the main drivers of prospects is seminars.
Correct.
But you all get a lot of referrals.
Tons of referrals.
Which actually, to be candid, that is a reflection on the service and the interaction with clients. So kudos.
Thank you.
That's a reflection back on you and running the office. Todd's wonderful.
Yes.
I mean, he's
great.
He's just such a genuine guy, which you're a genuine person too, and it really shows. I'm gushing. Okay, so
stop it.
So from your side of the things, let's talk a little bit about the most important parts of your job as you see it.
Okay. I think it might be a little different, from firms that are larger. So, but we're a smaller firm. Todd's the only advisor. So I wear a lot of hats, which come under that umbrella of the VP of operations. So, most importantly is setting Todd up for success. I think would be the best. I try to make everything as easy as possible for Todd to do what Todd needs to do.
Now, I want to back you up just one second, because in a bigger firm, I think your position, and this is a big practice. I'm not size-wise of staff.
People-wise, yes.
Yes, but from production volume, all that,
yes.
you guys are players.
Yes.
You're a legitimately large firm, just not staff-wise.
Gotcha.
Now,
okay, yes.
And I think actually, though, that makes your position more crucial because you are wearing more hats in a bigger firm that has a staff of 15 or 20.
Right.
Those duties are divided out, and it's not the focus on the one person.
I'm not just managing the operations. I'm actually doing the operations.
You're managing yourself.
I'm managing myself.
Now,
correct.
You do have other staff there.
There is.
Currently.
We have one part-time person, yes,
Okay.
that does come up under me and helps me on things.
Okay, so let's digress because should we not digress? I digressed. Let's go back. Let's say that. Let's keep it simple for me. Most important part of your job, you said, is to let Todd be Todd.
Right.
Tell us more.
I think just in every aspect, so next week is my 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
With Blue Sky. Thank you very much. And, my role in the company has really just, when I first came, I was answering phones and ordering supplies, when I first started, so it's really just progressed. But my main objective is just making sure that Todd has everything that he needs so that when he meets with the client, everything is prepared, everything is available, so that Todd doesn't have to think about anything but the one-on-one with the client.
It's almost a little bit like you're a professional caddy.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yes.
He's Tiger Woods, and you're making sure that he's got everything he needs.
Sure.
Just to think about swinging clubs. What were you doing before?
So I was an office manager for quite a few years of a tax office. I like to manage things. I like administration. I like telling people what to do. So it's just a good fit for me. So that's what I was doing. I didn't necessarily care for the tax world. Like, when you start seeing the behind the scenes side of the tax world, it just wasn't my forte. So I had decided I was going to start looking, at making a move. And I actually went to church with Todd. We had started going to a different church, so we were fairly new, didn't know him that well. But I believe we were having a barbecue or something, and it just kind of came up that I was looking, at making a change. He's like, well, you should come talk to me. I said, okay. And they hired me right there, and that was 10 years ago next week.
Golly, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
What do you think in your background helped? What did you take from what you did before?
I don't, as far as getting me hired or as far as just putting
the job.
I think I'm a very organized person.
Yes, you are.
Some would say a little OCD on some things, which I don't think of that as a derogatory thing. I think that helps me do good at what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't like clutter. I love organization. Those are key things. And you wouldn't be able to do and wear as many hats as I do without being extremely organized. So I think that is, just part of my makeup that helps me be successful in that area.
Well, we talked about checklists before during seminars.
Yeah. And that was one thing, like I've always been a list person. And then Todd, that's like his big thing, his financial flight plan, his having a checklist. So it was a really good, I helped him, when I came in, improve on that. So he already had the same kind of thought process about checklists and making sure you're prepared and organized and that kind of thing.
So I imagine the office has got to be just spick and span and
yes,
everything in its place.
Yes. Is that not everybody's office?
You'd be surprised. Not necessarily.
I have been surprised when I've walked into offices, to be honest. Clutter and disorganization literally gives me anxiety. So I have to keep it just so.
I think it sends a message to whoever's coming in the office too.
I agree. And we get actually compliments about that frequently, about just how comfortable, like we're not starchy. We're not like, you feel comfortable. It's not to the point where like you got plastic on the furniture, but, we want everybody to feel comfortable and feel at home. But, you walk into somebody's house that's a disaster. It makes you feel uncomfortable. So, walking in and things smell nice and look nice. And, I think that's part of setting the scene and making people feel comfortable.
Did I, tell me if I'm misremembering this, do you at the office, is there a kind of a living room-ish room where before?
Yeah, when you first walk in, we've got a pretty large area where we have like a TV set up and some chairs and couches and lamps and, just a real kind of comfortable area for when you first walk in. Yeah.
Did you decorate that or did Todd or joint effort?
When we first purchased that building, actually the owners of the building, his wife is an interior designer.
Oh, nice.
So we kind of told her the feeling that we were wanting, which was Todd wanted more like a spa-like feel. We're not starchy, we're not like executive leather furniture and that kind of thing. So comfortable, clean, fresh, and she helped us really put that in place.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea.
The decor was mostly me. The furniture, the colors, that kind of thing she really helped with.
The hues and all
hues, yes.
All those different things.
Yeah.
So in your position then, when you have added staff, because you've probably added and subtracted, 10 years.
Yes.
I imagine that a lot of that really, and especially since Todd's not here, I bet a lot of that probably falls on your shoulders because you're directing that person.
I would say yes. Yeah, especially people who are working directly under me. Like I have to have, a comfortability and you have to have a synergy with people that you're working with, so I I kind of get a feeling about people, I think, a lot of times, within a little bit of meeting them. And okay, this is somebody I'm going to vibe with. This is somebody that we can work well together,
Because you can find somebody who can technically do the job, but do you want to be around them for like 8 hours?
I can train a monkey to do a lot of jobs, but do I want to work with a monkey every day? No.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some of the lessons you've learned. In the last episode, I threw that do's and don'ts. But from your perspective, and you've visited, you've gone on different trips, different interactions with other advisors, other staffs. What are things that you see that you're like, I think I'm going to borrow that, and other things that you're thinking like, wow?
Yeah, this is going to sound a little arrogant, but
okay.
I don't mean it that way. That most of the time. Todd and I like to do kind of a powwow anytime we go, and if we go see another advisor seminar or whatever, we kind of dish it out between each other afterwards. And a lot of times I'm just like, I could show them some things to do, to be honest. Like they should have done this, or they could have done this better, or whatever. And I don't mean that to sound arrogant, but I just think that we have a well-tuned machine going that we have. I mean, it took time, that wasn't day one, of course. But I feel like most of the time, like I would have value to offer other people as opposed to the vice versa.
What do you see? So what do you see where you're just things that you would see you need to do that?
I think for one thing, being prepared. If you're still trying to set up as people are coming into the room, I think that sets a bad tone. If people do not have materials, do not have a pen, are looking around for something when there should be focused on the presentation, I think sets a bad tone. I want people to come in and feel comfortable. Again, comfortable. That's probably our bread and butter. Like we try to make people feel comfortable. You're going to feel better after meeting us or after seeing us than you did when you first met it, when you first came in. That's our motto. So I like the same thing for Todd. I don't want Todd to be looking around for something. I don't want a client or a prospective client to be needing something. I want to make sure that they're set up for success as well.
I like that. I like the, if I were to paraphrase that, I would say controlling everything you can control.
Control is
but not bad.
For me, not in a bad way.
But I've seen things, or I've been in meetings or presentations where somebody is lacking something, and everybody in the room will say out loud, like, "No, that's okay."
Yeah.
But internally, you're like,
it's feeling.
Yeah.
The feeling that you want them to have when they leave. Are they frustrated because they wanted to write something down and they didn't have a pen?
Exactly.
You don't want that.
Or, by controlling everything, why put in somebody's mind the subconscious thought of, if they can't control that, then how are they going to handle my money?
Correct. Like I'm going to give my life savings to somebody who can't even be prepared for a simple event. That I definitely have that in my mind. If I'm going to do it, I want it to be done with excellence. Is a thing. Of course, things don't always go as planned.
Sure.
Technology doesn't always work the way that you want it, but my goal is for things to be set up in a way that it is excellent.
Now, do you think in watching the interaction with you and Todd, do you think that your experience gives you the confidence to have your opinions? And I want to preface what I just said, because I don't want it to come off like you're your way or the highway, right, or you're like bossy or anything like that. But you have a lot of valuable insights, and you two, again, shout out to check out that other episode. You two mesh so well together.
Yes.
Now I know that that's 10 years of experience together.
Yes.
But did you have your voice early?
I did, and I think that's just kind of natural, a part of my personality. And I don't want to say bossy or opinionated, but I definitely try. I'm going to say I try to add value.
I like it.
Because I'm an organized person, an efficient person, and not everybody has that. So if I see something that could be done more efficiently or in a better way, then I go about it in a nice way. But I think Todd learned that was part of my personality, and Todd is the kind of person that will defer to your strengths. Not everybody is like that. He doesn't try to micromanage, or, he's like, yeah, you're good at that. Go.
Sure.
Go, do it. So he's always deferred to that to me because he can trust that my ideas most of the time are good.
I love it.
Again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but...
Well, you got the track record, though.
Yes.
You got the track record. Okay, so let's talk about a couple things.
Okay.
Lessons learned. Anything that, if I say, what's something you've learned, maybe something that you thought was going to be a great idea that didn't work out?
Oh, goodness. Let's see. A great idea that didn't work out.
Something you thought was going to be awesome and it just didn't work.
So we've had some marketing endeavors. So part of VP of Operations is I also do the marketing. So we've had some marketing endeavors that, to me, sound amazing.
Yeah.
That, just to other people weren't as good. One recently, and I actually took this to Todd just recently, is I wanted to do what board and brush is? Where you go in and you paint a tray, or you paint your name on the wall thing.
Take some art.
Yeah. And Todd's like, no. He's like, girls do that. Guys don't do that. I'm like, really? Guys won't do this? And he's like, no, Michelle. Guys aren't going to do that. And I'm like, I feel like my husband would totally do that, but whatever.
Did you guys, is there anything you can think of that you guys tried that didn't work out?
I tried to suss that out and get... I do like feedback, I do try to get a lot of feedback before I endeavor something. I will say we did a big client appreciation, barbecue thing quite a few years ago. And this wasn't my idea, but we brought in a old school kind of banjo band.
Okay.
And it was nice, but it
didn't work out
so well.
Okay,
yes.
let's flip this on its head then. Something you didn't think was going to work out that surprised you.
Oh, everything else that I had an idea for was perfect. So we actually do have a baseball game next Friday. Okay, so I rented the big VIP box. Client appreciation thing, yeah. I rented the big VIP box at there's a minor league team not too far, from our town. And I had to purchase 50 tickets. And I'm like, oh man, 50 tickets. I was kind of iffy if I was going to be able to get that filled. I currently have 100.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I got double what I was afraid of being able to fill. So we really did get the buy-in on this. So for that. So, I would say that's a pretty successful event. Yeah.
Are you guys busing them over?
No, they're responsible for their own travel. It's literally probably a 10, 15-minute drive at the most for most people in the area.
Nice. Okay, so as we come towards a close, some advice that you would give to someone in your position that's just starting out.
Or be organized. Be organized. As things kind of progressed and I started taking on, more and more and more, I really try to split my days up. So I have focus days for this is what I do on this day. This is, of course, that doesn't always, but my prerogative when I come into the office on a Monday, I know the things that I want to accomplish and get done on that Monday or that Tuesday. So that's one key thing that I really, to be able to manage as many moving parts, I think really organizing your time, prioritizing your time, I'm not a person who wants to be there on the weekends. So, I try to make my time be as valuable as I can when I'm in the office.
Maximize efficiency.
Maximize and being efficient. So splitting my day up, I know before I leave on Monday, this, and this needs to be accomplished.
So you are setting your week ahead in advance.
I actually have done that for Todd as well. He has focus days. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are his appointment days. Mondays are our admin days. Him and I do have conversations about the meetings because I prep all of his meeting appointments and everything as well, like getting the folders together, getting the client stuff together. So that's what we're working on Mondays. We really try not to have appointments on Mondays. If at all possible. And then Todd, we just want him to be in appointments on Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays. And then Fridays are our flex day. So Fridays we have a marketing meeting, Todd and I. We have a finance meeting. We have, cleanup from a crazy week or whatever. So we really try to break our days up. And that's one thing that I really instituted, because it's hard to... I like to set my mindset for one thing, accomplish that, and then change to the next thing. But if you're trying to do this and then switch over here to this and then do a client appointment and then do this again, you know what I mean? So I would say that was really a key to really being able to manage so many tasks.
That's great, because if you try to do too many things, it's like everything moves one step forward, but nothing gets done, and you're just slow and slow.
And people think multitasking is a good thing, but it isn't necessarily, because if you're multitasking, then nothing is really getting your full attention. So I like to give things my full attention if I can. So that is done as well as it can be, and then switch my attention to whatever is next.
Final thought from you. Well, maybe not. We'll see where this question goes. Advice as far as working with an advisor, because advisors have personalities.
Absolutely.
And they have what their skill set is not the same skill set as yours. So any advice, in a way, it's almost working with either like a professional athlete or almost like a musician or an actor.
Yes.
And you're the manager.
I would say that I got really lucky with Todd. Like, we just really work well together. He's my boss, but he's also my friend. We consider each other family at this point. We're so involved with each other's family. And I would say Todd is probably an enigma too. Like, he's not the normal, like, I want it done this way and this way and this way. Like, he really gives me the leeway to do things the way that I want to do them, and he will follow that. You know what I mean? So, I feel like I'm a little lucky if my strong personality and Todd had a very strong personality, we may not mesh as well. Yeah. So I feel like, meshing personalities is a difficult thing, but Todd and I just were really able to do that, and I think that makes us lucky on both sides.
Beautiful partnership.
Yeah.
It really feels like a partnership.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I feel that way. Like I said, we feel like family. 10 years is a long time. That's the longest I've been with any company. So he's super lucky that I've stayed this long. But yeah, we're lucky to have each other. But I do think that on the advisor side, being able to let go of some control, which I think can be difficult for some people. Like, if the tables were flipped, I would have an issue with that, because that's not my personality.
It is a hard thing to be able to let go, because so many advisors, they became successful by controlling everything, like you were saying, like how your attention to detail. A lot of advisors became successful because of that, and so letting go is
very difficult.
And trusting,
and trusting. You have to be able to trust that the person you're letting go to has your best interest, the company's best interest. So that takes a lot of faith and trust, and that doesn't come overnight. Absolutely.
Very good point.
He didn't give me the keys to the castle after being there a week. You know what I mean? Like, we worked together for a while and built that trust and that faith.
You two work so well together.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you being on this episode.
Thank you. I appreciate you asking me to be on this episode.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, so that'll we'll just wrap there. And of course, if you're listening or watching, because you can watch us on a couple different venues, feel free to hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe. That way, you get when a new episode drops. Also, feel free to drop a comment anywhere. I look at them. I respond. I love ideas. I love constructive criticism, or even criticism. I just like to read. All right. Michelle, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.